inspire people to be better than they think they can be. Nelson Mandela asked the questions, how do we inspire others to be better than they think they can be? How do we inspire ourselves to greatness when nothing less will do? How do we inspire everyone around us? You and I may never be called upon to unite a country or to heal a nation, but we are called upon to inspire everyone around us each and every day. One of the ways that we can do that is to lead by example. When we lead by example, we don't just give. We roll up our sleeves, we work shoulder to shoulder, side by side with our fellow man. We're kind. We listen. We slow down. About 12 years ago, I found myself standing in line at the food bank. I was a newly divorced, single mom with 5 children. I hadn't worked outside the home in over 10 years. I was terrified. I was heartbroken. They handed me a little slip of paper with a number on it. A number that signified everything I loved, everything I'd worked so hard for. And in my confusion, my confused state of mind, I misplaced the piece of paper somewhere between the counter and the first and second volunteer and was fumbling through my purse, through my pockets, trying to find it. And out of the shadows comes this red-headed woman with cold blue eyes. In a very authoritative and aggressive manner, she looks at me and she says, "You cannot be served without your number. Go back and get your number." How do you humiliate someone who's already so humbled? The room had gone completely quiet, and I noticed that even the volunteers were frozen. I recognized that what we had on our hands was a full-blown bully, but I was in no position to deal with her. And so as I turned and went back towards that counter, the door was open, and the sunlight was streaming through onto the cold concrete, and every ounce of my being wanted to walk out that door and never come back. But I remembered the number on the slip of paper, the number of little mouths waiting for me at home. Flash forward 10 years. I'm standing in line again at the food bank. This was never supposed to happen. I'd remarried. I'd got a great job. I'd got a promotion. We'd moved to Olympia. It was supposed to be easy for my husband to find work down here. It didn't happen. As I stood in that line, a tremendous amount of emotion came back to me. When they handed me that little slip of paper with that number on it, that number that represented my life's work, and everything I lived for, and everything I held dear, I broke. Wept right in front of everybody. Tears were streaming down my face. And those wonderful people at the Thurston County Food Bank, they put their arms around me. They looked me in the eye. They were kind, and they said, "We're all in this together. We all need each other right now. You're going to be okay." They inspired me at that moment to be better than I thought I could be. In fact, I began to volunteer there in my time of need out of gratitude for the healing that they had given me. Maslow's theory of hierarchy says that when we meet people's basic needs for love, for security, food, we actually help them to go up the pyramid and to develop, to get out of that survival mode. And another way that we can actually inspire people to be better than they think they can be is to play the role of the tour guide of life. I was on a tour bus from Victoria, British Columbia to the Bouchard Gardens. And on that tour bus, the guide kept saying, "Look out the window to your right and observe this great statue, this monument to this great person who has overcome great obstacles." and achieved great things. Look out the window to your left and observe this statue, this opportunity people came together to create. That's what we can do in our everyday lives with those around us. Constantly be interrupting them, interrupting their daily grind, getting their eyes up off their bills and their worries and the stress of life, and saying, look at the opportunities, look at the possibilities, look at what's out there for you. My son was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes about a year ago. We were crushed and devastated by the news, and we were looking down at a life of needles and blood sugar levels and carbs counting, and the people at Mary Bridge Children's Hospital looked at us and they said, look up, you love to cycle, young man, team type 1 in the Tour de France. Every one of them has type 1 diabetes. They didn't let it slow them down. You don't have to let this slow you down. My son looked up and he never looked back. They were like a bolt of lightning streaking through the black sky, illuminating the horizon for us. They were the tour guide of life for us. Inspire yourself to greatness, because nothing less will do. Be the example to those around you. Inspire others to be better than they think they can be by being that tour guide of life, by pointing out to them the opportunities that await them.